good news. Gee. I know. Well, it's good. I'm glad. Well, now he's just gonna be on a path towards recovery now, so he needs to.
Okay. I'm recording now. I thought I had a choice between recording to the cloud or not, but it looks slightly different. I guess I'm recording to the machine here. I had been recording to the cloud before. That brings up a different issue. I probably should mention that. I was recording to a cloud before, and the Zoom cloud, they booted us. They told us that that they're going to remove the links there from the Zoom cloud. Well, remove the files last week. I hadn't checked the email, but I was able to download all the streaming files, and I'll have to find a place to put those on the web, and so you can reference the older files still. Will know my recording. So give me okay. Yeah. So I've got a bunch of those links. If you copied those links somewhere and save them, they're not good anymore. They won't be good anymore soon. And then I'll have to figure out where to put the one for this class. So what I intended to do for most of the class is I made one PowerPoint slide for each question on the exam, and then put a hint on it, and with a page number reference. And I was going to let that be a way that we could go through and prepare for the exam. So we'll have sort of a step-by-step prep for your week-long take-home exam. And well, I do the attendance thing first, I guess. And see, maybe make this a little smaller, and make this a little bigger. And maybe I can go with a share the screen. Whoa. Okay. And yeah, I'm playing. Okay. Playing with who's here and so forth. So it's straightforward statistics, and am I seeing everybody? We'll go through and draw, and the red pen, and maybe, yeah, maybe a little bigger this time. Okay. Let's see. Joe Black Crow, no. Kimmy Mila, no. Felicia, not yet. Ryan, not yet. Jermaine, welcome, Jermaine. Terry Haskell, not yet. Eleanor Hornbeck, not yet. Janice Joel, not yet. Brad's here at least, sort of. Okay. So much for that page. Let's see. Tiffany's here.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, nice to hear your voice. Megan is here. Joni Morissette, don't see her yet. Christina, don't see her. Let's see. Tony's here. Victoria Phelps is here. And Samantha Puckett. Brittany, don't see her yet. And Sherry, don't see her. Justice. Shah, I see Shah. Okay, that's for this. And I guess another thing is we got a notice that Moodle will be down on Friday, or likely be down. So if you're looking for Moodle on Friday, might not be there. So if you plan to start using that, we can we can go with that. So and got 10 participants. Oh, Felicia.
I'm here.
All right. Can mark you here. Let's view and slideshow, and probably start it from the beginning might be good. And let's see, maybe I'll stop the share and escape, and the new share, the slideshow share, and guess I can minimize this. Right. Let me see. Do I have the chimes on so I can hear? All right, enter exit chime. That's on. Okay, got the chimes up so I can hear. Right, so that's what we've got marked so far. Right. Looking for some people. So like I said, you might want to download the exam or open Notepad, a physical notepad or a notepad file. And question 1 comes from chapter 5, and there are some definitions on page 126. The definitions are in blue and bold of a few terms. And that limits it, that sort of limits you to 2 choices here. So it would be something like a union is defined as an elementary event that can't be broken into simpler parts. So one of the hints on here is the word simple. So we have that for a question. You might want to turn to page 126 and maybe take a note of some type. If you write in your books, you might tab question 1 definitions here for the exam. Is it okay if I move onward?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. We ask what is a complete list of all possible outcomes, and this looks similar. Let me check to see if I've got that page number right. Yeah. Yeah. So just one of those definitions on that page 126 again is there, and you just need to find it this way. So that I hope will be helpful. I guess I noted that the PowerPoint slides are already up. So if you miss a slide or something because there's something happening at home and I don't get things uploaded as fast as you want, you can at least have the page number reference. So could I go on this one?
Yep.
Okay. Now, question here, probability is expressed by numbers between this and I guess there's a little grammatical thing here. Correct answer is stated. Okay. Can I go on this one? You comfortable with? Okay. So some of these, this is a harder question. What values set the boundary of the middle 60% from the rest of the distribution? And that let's this is a little harder one on page 152, a similar problem. So I'll let you maybe look it over a bit to see if there's something within that problem on page 152 that you might want to discuss. There's a line or a comment or something of that sort that you didn't get to. Okay, can we go onward here?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. In a normal distribution, what is the probability that the probability that z lies between 0 and 1.1? And you have a few choices there, and there's a procedure there where you subtract two sides of a number, and although it isn't exactly the same kind of problem, there's one on page 161. See, their probabilities are between -1, z is between -1 and 2.08, but you can still follow through in a similar format to get your answer, although you'll get a much smaller number here. Okay, can we go onward from there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this is another z-table problem. This is a z to the left of, and example 57C on page 150 is similar. Okay. Well, let's see who's here. Justice is here. Okay. All right. Welcome, Justice.
Hello.
Let's go back and mark you here. Okay. Page 150. So for Justice, I put up all the questions on the exam, and I found similar examples in the textbook, and I'm asking people if they have a question over the example or something they don't understand that maybe I could help you with. These last few questions with the Z have been on with the Z table, and that's been on page. Those are 495 and 496 that we worked with. So I think most of you hopefully have your book with you. I know that is a bit of a departure to have your book with you in class. They usually have the videos include everything, but I didn't this time. So example 5.7c on page 170 is similar with the z to the greater than a number. A normal distribution problems. Question 7 is a bit more involved. A sample from patient's blood pressure and standard deviation. The low and high ends of the middle 95% are, and there's a procedure to do that. And the example 511 on page 157 is similar. They're both 95%, so you have the same table. You can get away with just using the same term in the table. We also in class used a formula that would be helpful that isn't often used in the book. They do a little more algebra. Which is x equals mu plus z sigma. We've used that a few times, and this one, of course, it's a plus or a minus. Well, we'll have a negative z and a positive z for this this term. So, and I'll just make a note. This could be used. Right. Okay, can we go onward for this one?
Is that plus or minus z times sigma?
You could use a plus or minus with a table lookup, or you could view it as two different problems. Okay, so maybe I'm being more confusing. It has the middle 95%, so you could look up in the table the points that would give you 5% to the with 5% just to the left, or 2.5% just to the left on the z table, and it would be a positive number. Having just to the left, the 2.5% just to the left would be a negative number. The 2.5% just to the right would be a positive number, but their magnitude, they'd be the same size, the same number. So do you want a positive or negative number here, plus or minus? Yeah, you could write it that way. Yeah, you should just note that there's a negative. One of them's negative or positive. So formally, how you write it, you could do it with a plus or minus, or you could do it with just two equations. It might be more confusing than it's worth.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, this one is just a definition, and the central limit theorem on page 173 has a few parts, and if you look over all the parts, I think there are 3 or 4, you'll find an answer to this question stated directly. So you might want to look on page 173. So the central limit theorem, yeah, it has 4 parts. I think that was a leave, but let's see, Justice. Megan, Tommy, Shore, Samantha. Okay. Did I have Samantha marked in? Somehow I don't remember that. Let me go back and check. Yeah, I did. Okay. Can we go onward from here?
Yep.
All right. In a one-tail test, the rejection zone here is it's either a right tail or a left tail test, and well, it's one tail, so it these last two don't make much sense, but there is a discussion on page 201 on this kind of problem. Okay, so yeah, the lower half of that page on 201, you have left and right tail test, and you can see how they set up. That's once you see the definitions on the page, that's a pretty simple one. I guess I didn't ask. Can we go onward on this?
Yep.
Right. The null hypothesis is just a discussion of the null hypothesis on page 193. This is pretty straightforward one. If you just start reading, you'll see one of the answers is there, right there, and I don't think that one's too hard at this point. Okay, can we go onward on this, or is there something more confusing, or one of the statements not made?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of discussion on the null and alternative hypothesis and type 1 and 2 errors, and pages and pages of this, it seemed like, and trying to find the one concise one is a little hard. Yeah, just a slight changing in words from the type 1 error in bold is what we see there. Click downward. Oh, there's a chat message. Okay. Well, glad to see some people like me. The probability of committing a type 1 error is denoted as, and there's a discussion table on page 197. But in the text above the table, there is a direct statement. I might want to just give that extra hint. For those of you who actually showed up, let's see. Also, see the text. Paragraph. Okay, it's actually a pretty simple one, but can we go onward?
Yep.
You guys want to give us the answer to that one?
I want to. I'll give you this is like the strongest hint I could give, right? please actually read the answer in the book. So, Uh, the reason to use a t-test instead of a z-test is because is unknown. Maybe this isn't a clear statement. The one on page 249, on page 249, question 1. The difference between using a z-test and a t-test depends upon. Yeah, that isn't really the best hint. It's it just sort of eliminates one letter. What?
It's also on page 223.
Page 223?
Yeah.
Okay, you like the answer there. Okay, yeah, it's right there. It's in fact in the title. Page 223 and 222. Also see page 223 and 223. Simpler to see. I actually had a tough time getting a reference on that and didn't realize it was it's is it the title? I don't know. All right, multiple choice test. It's in the title. Well, I don't know. Uh, one time in a class, a student just jokingly said, "Why don't you give an exam that was just all examples you did in class?" Laughed about it, and I then I thought about it and says, "Oh, what the heck? I'll try it this time." And really, for most of the class, uh, that didn't change anything. But when the woman who mentioned it just went through, and she's the kind of person who looked over all the problems before actually starting it. So she looked at the problem and she started smiling a little, and then again, and then again, and she just looked up. She smiled like the whole time she prepared it, but most of the class didn't catch on that. So yeah, I guess yeah, we talked enough about that. So here's yeah, we're going another question here. As the degrees of freedom becomes larger, and page 250, C. Is that a good reference? Question 8 on page 250. Right. So it's similar to that one. Uh, And that's probably probably the discussion on page 224 is the picture, and the discussion on page 224 is probably a little better. So okay. Can we go onward on that? Yeah, this isn't too difficult. Let's see. It's a z-value calculation. You and there's an example there on page 176 and 77. Okay. So that's a similar kind of thing. You calculate a z and find out what the probability associated with it. Quite similar. They're both less than problems on in examples 6.2. So I think most of you who've been keeping up with the homework all along will think this is maybe one of the easier week's assignments. This exam, at least after all these hints. Can I go onward on this one?
Yep.
All right. Chapter 8, assume that the systolic blood pressure among adult men is normally distributed with with mean 140. Oh gosh, if the mean is 140 now, what's that? They sell a lot of blood pressure medicine. Okay. She randomly selects those practicing Tai Chi, 25 men, for 1 hour per day, and this is S, and you work through the whole test. It's a one sample T given S and X bar and S, like example 8.2 there. So a t-test and a hypothesis test, and this time A, B, and C aren't choices, they're parts of the four-step procedure. the way the author likes to put it together. I'll give you a little while to look over that. It's about 3 pages of discussion. See if there's something on those pages that is really upsetting. Uh, hmm. Let me check if I have the example number right there. Um, yeah, yeah. It is 8.3. Thanks for checking that. Yeah, the better example here is 8.3. So sorry, you might want to look that one over. Wait a little on that too. I got a private chat message directing me towards that. So okay, can I go onward there? I did have one correction. Okay. Construct a 90% confidence interval based on the previous problem. That is a 90% confidence interval on the systolic blood pressure on those who practice Tai Chi. And check to see if I have the example number right. Okay, can we go onward here?
Yep.
All right. So that's all I wanted to do for this week. I don't know always the best way to do these kind of test weeks with the Zoom meeting. Um, I guess any other questions about the procedure? Just upload it as an assignment for the week, and then future concerns. And I've actually think I have a little time opening up for me, so I'll likely be able to get to a few things. Uh, and I there is a chance I might be sending out email on things this week as circumstances change. Okay. Uh, so let's.
We have to have that exam done by next week's class, right?
That's the due date. If you try to turn it in a little later, I'd appreciate some discussion on it.
Okay.
Actually, a little later, sort of. I think I put it like 10 or 11 o'clock. You can turn it in.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, me. Okay. File. Save. Exit. And well, I guess we're back. And it's a bit of a short lesson this week. I don't really know how to do the full 2 hours on this exam prep stuff yet. Maybe I'll figure it out sometime. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll.
No complaints here.
What's that?
No complaints here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Occasionally, you get some complaints by some of the administrators if you left people off early. And then if you stayed a bit late, the when we were on site, especially at the 5 to 8 classes, the cleanup crew is hurrying you out. So it's hard to keep everybody happy on these. So well, we'll just call it. We'll stop the recording.
Frank, I have a question.
Sure.
So your recordings that are posted on Moodle, how long are they gonna be up for? Another day or two, or?
I don't know. They said that they would start taking them down today. And the link will still be there.
Okay.
And but it won't go to anything. At least I'm going to try to find a way to. I've downloaded all the files and I'll try to put them up in another way. But and there is some directions on that. But I can't say exactly when I'll be able to get that done. I'll work on that. My intention is to work on that tomorrow, but my days have been really unusual this last few weeks, so
Yeah, because I usually go back and watch them, and when I'm quite not catching something, and then I rewatch them and stuff. So,
Yeah.
that was my concern there.
Yeah, I'll try to I'll try to get that up, and when I do get the things up, I'll send an email.
Is there any way we can get them emailed to us, or is that too much?
I could in the email include a set of links, but I don't think I could actually email the whole video files.
Can it be added to Jenzabar?
I do intend to add it to.
Okay.
I do intend to add it to Moodle. Okay, so I have the current Zoom link. When I get it uploaded to a new location, I'll put in a link to that in Moodle. And I could also email those links once I get them uploaded. But the idea of emailing the video files are usually pretty big relative to what the email limitations are. Okay, so they're I mean they're sometimes they're on the order of 1 gigabyte or so. So they're pretty big, which is not necessarily the best way to. So I would guess either my email, probably our email service wouldn't let me send them even one at a time, let alone all at once. But once I have them uploaded, I could prepare an email that has links in it, and that would work. So I'll have to get onto that. Thanks for your questions and suggestions on how to handle this. Okay, so call it done. Okay.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Have a good day. See you next
All right.
week.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.